Hi Libras, this is Tarot-blee Accurate. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new, welcome. I hope you come back. If you're a subscriber or you're just coming back for a second time, thanks so much for coming back. I appreciate all your likes, your shares, your subscribes, your comments. This is why I do these. So I'm doing this month's general reading a little bit different than usual. I'm taking out the health section because I think it's redundant and obvious. And then the other part of that is that I am also taking out the week by week breakdown at the end because these videos are quite long, and so it's hard to stay tuned through the whole thing. But then also you have your monthly love readings, we have our general readings, there's daily readings on Facebook, and then there's also a reading in between for each sign. So it's just quite a lot. I'm going to try to keep these a little bit shorter then from now on. So as I'm sitting here shuffling up for your career stuff, one fell on the floor, so if you don't mind, I'm going to grab that. And then we'll get started. Okay. So as I was shuffling, we also have a challenge card here. I don't know what it is yet. I put it face down, but the one that was on the floor is the Judgment in reverse. So in career, at work, people aren't judging you. It's really that simple. You're not passing judgment on others. Everything is really stable. You don't have to worry about gossip or anything like that. It might be something that you're worried about. If you think, okay, well, I'm making these choices and I don't know how people are going to like it, how they're going to take it, especially if you're somebody's boss, don't worry about it. Your challenge here is to keep up your enthusiasm, to keep up your drive and your passion while staying entirely in control of what you're doing. You might start to feel just a little bit, what's the word? It's not like you have an entire lack of enthusiasm, but it's just like you might not be going at the full speed that you were before, and maybe your ideas are not as creative as before. You might just be fatigued, to be honest. So when you do have these new ideas, keep them to yourself for a minute. Get excited about it. Think it through before you implement them. Because if you implement them too soon, it will disrupt the harmony and mess up the end goal that you're trying to create at work, and it'll make you pretty unhappy. So you might end up putting a lot of work into something that ends up not being what you actually wanted, and then you're like, well, that was a waste of time. So that's why I'm telling you, keep your thoughts in your head and process those first before you implement those, because if you don't, things will end up to be very unfair, and the consequences of those things will not be fair, and then you might have to be worrying about the judgment because everyone's going to be like, that's your fault. So that's kind of a bummer. So anyway, that's the point though, right? Now you have the warning, and that won't be a problem for you. Moving on to money, what's going on for Libras in regards to their money, May 15th through June 15th. We have the Eight of Swords in reverse, the King of Wands in reverse, the Justice card in reverse, so kind of repeating themes here, the World card, and the Three of Cups. So in regards to money, the worries and fears that you had before surrounding your finances should be gone at this point. You're probably not feeling very stable or very flexible, able to spend money on things that seem frivolous or on things that I feel like this is on outfits. Like maybe in the past you would have taken any money that was extra and went out and got a new outfit, got your nails done, got your hair done. You won't be really feeling like now's a good time to do that. And you feel like the way that things have played out recently in regards to money haven't been fair. But by the time that you get towards June 1st to June 15th, everything's changing. And all of a sudden you're feeling really stable and you can have whatever it is you want. So if you've been worried about money and you're like, am I going to have enough to do this thing or that thing? All of a sudden, then it's going to feel like, okay, this is not something to be afraid of. And you'll be able to celebrate that. You really, really will. People will be happy for you. You'll be happy for you. It'll be a joyous time. So that's really good. In regards to your home life, what's going on for Libras, Sun, Moon, and Rising? You have a challenge that jumped right out right away. Try not to think about things the way that they used to be. the positives of the past. Try not to keep that in your frame of reference this month, because the past is the past, right? You have another, it came out of the challenge again. This is a huge challenge, okay? This is going to be very challenging for you to not so much think about how things used to be, because they're not that way now. They're different now, okay? You know that they're not going to be the same. So why sit there and think about it and have the feelings associated with that? It's not necessary. That's your challenge. Okay, but what else at home? We have the Page of Pentacles. We have the Eight of Wands in reverse. The Three of Pentacles in reverse. The Seven of Cups in reverse. The Star in reverse. And we just need, whoa. I was going to say we need one more, and here pops out. Okay. So what's going on at home for some of you? This could resonate a couple different ways. The first way I feel like is going to resonate pretty hard for some of you watching. You're having thoughts about how you're going to create your stability in the future, but you're not ready to take those actions yet. You are ready to divorce or break up, split from cohabitation, something like that. There is absolutely zero confusion in regards to what you want to do. You know that where you have been in this relationship is a place that is not emotionally balanced and healthy, and it's super not what you want. Not at all. It's not what your heart desires. You could be tempted by somebody to maybe go on a date, to maybe flirt, something like that. But for a lot of you, you have not yet left entirely. Maybe you started the papers for a divorce, something like that. But you haven't quite moved out or something like that. Like you haven't actually started the next part of your life. You're certain about wanting the next part of your life, but you haven't quite gotten there yet. So then when this comes up, you're kind of like, okay, well, I have most of the work done, but I'm not ready for this yet. And even if emotionally I'm ready for it, ethically I'm not, or morally I'm not. Like I can't. So you kind of sit there like this, but then part of you is like, hey, what if an opportunity like this doesn't come again? So there's maybe a little bit of fear associated with that. Now, a different way that we could take this is that, yes, you're having thoughts, like if this is not your specific scenario. But for some of you, that will be your specific scenario. Now, so you are having new thoughts about stability, about your home life, about your work, all of that, what's going to make you happy, but you're not yet putting those into action. Now, that's because you might have a lack of teamwork or support in order to do so, but you do know exactly what you want to do. You're just not sure how to manifest that, how to get exactly what it is that you want. And so when opportunities arise, you don't know if they're good ones or they're bad ones exactly, but part of you is afraid to even investigate that. Okay? Now, moving from home life onto your love lives. What's going on for Libras that are single from May 15th until June 15th? Got a little hair in here. Okay, so what's going on for you? The Knight of Cups in reverse. The Chariot. The Justice card. The Three of Swords in reverse. And then we have two cards here. Okay. So maybe somebody that you had expected, like you thought, okay, this person really likes me, they're going to ask me out, something like that. Something changed with their behavior, and all of a sudden it's like they've just shut down, or they've lost interest, or they said something weird to you. And you're like, what the heck? Are we going to do this or we're not? Like, we're going to go on a date or we're not? It's kind of confusing, and you don't really understand that energy in that person and where that's coming or going. The next part of that is like trying to figure out is that fair? Is that not fair? Why are they being like this? But you're actually going to handle this very, very well, very gracefully, and very fairly, and you'll call somebody out on their BS, but not in a bitchy way. Excuse my language, I'm sorry. You're just going to make the decision to go and do your life the way that you want to do it, and you're smart and you're wise, and you put a lot of thought into where you're going and where you want to be. It's just a matter of figuring out how to balance everything to get there. But you're going to be fair to everybody. You will. You shall not have your heart broken, nor shall you break anyone else's heart or be disappointed because of the way that you're handling this. As long as you stay focused on your hobbies or your work, that sort of thing, that should take your mind off it and really stop you from hurting. It is not a good time, though, right now to make any big changes in your finances that can hurt the potential for you to draw in a new mate, if that's what you're looking for. It will just cause a lot of confusion. And I'm not sure why, and maybe that's because it will resonate differently for a lot of different people. But it's definitely saying, do not change things up with your finances because it's going to mess up your love life. And I guess that could be for everybody in a different way. Okay, so moving on to coupled Libras. What do we have going on for you May 15th through June 15th? Sorry. You have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. 2 cards as challenge. We have the Strength card and the Two of Swords. And the Eight of Cups, as well as the Hanged Man in reverse. Now, we're going to do this 2 separate ways because this is very specific, again, to some of you, like I said earlier, where it was, okay, this is going to go one way for some of you and then a different way for the rest of you. So we're going to start with that, and then we're going to do it differently. Sorry. I'm not very eloquent in my speaking, I guess. Okay, so some of you have filed for divorce, or you've decided that you're filing for divorce. You've decided that this is just flippin' done. You're like, done, 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 done. Some of you will actually be finalizing divorces. You'll be talking about it. You'll be going through the processes. Now, your challenge is to stay very strong, to have a lot of tact, to have good communication, and to be the better person and the smarter person, okay? You need to actually tame the lion. Now, another challenge you have is to not let them blind you or confuse you as to what it is you really want. Don't let them walk all over you. You have decisions you have to make, and you maybe just don't want to make them, but you need to make them, okay? For some of you within this situation are still not entirely walking away from the situation yet, though. So I feel like maybe you're talking about the divorce, but you're not actually leaving the household yet, something like that. You're not quite there. You need to find your own stability right now. You are maybe not feeling like you can stand on your own 2 feet entirely on your own quite yet. You're seeing things accurately as they are, but you're afraid to let go of the stability and what you know and what to expect. You might not have enough faith in yourself. Okay, but for the coupled people that are Libras that are not in that scenario, because that's clearly not every single Libra that might watch this video. But that message was important for those of you who are going through that, which is a good portion of Libras lately, I feel like. This one is dying to come out. 5 of Cups. Oh, we've got a challenge card here. That's fun. Why do you keep getting that as a challenge? It's so weird. So weird. And then these 2 here. Okay. Oh, one more. Just kidding. One more too. Just keep coming. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, here we go. So for the rest of you, that are coupled. Initially, as the month starts off, you are focused more on the positive than on the negative, and that's really good. And it's because you're looking back on the good times with your partner. You are maybe not accepting help from others, maybe from your partner or from other people that care about you, that love you as much as you should be. Those people are there as a listening ear. Those people are there for advice, that sort of thing. It's really nice to have this Magician card here, but it's also a double-edged sword, because this is like cognitive behavioral therapy and the law of attraction all in one thing here. Whatever it is that you're thinking about is what you're going to draw into your life. This person has infinite power, the Magician. You have infinite power to create whatever reality you want. Whether you want more love, more money, more fun, more honesty, better communication, you can do that. You can manifest those things, draw them into your life, especially more happiness. But whatever thoughts you have, whatever things that you are saying is what you're attracting. So, for example, if your thought is, my spouse never shows me love, never shows me enough love, then it's like, they're not going to. That's not going to change, okay? You're creating an environment, like an energy field, that makes that hard, okay? But if you say, when my spouse shows me love, I'm appreciative, or something like that, or I want them to show me more love. If you just frame that same scenario differently, you can draw more of that in. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, be really cautious of what you're saying and what you're thinking. Try to frame things in a positive light as much as you can, because if you don't, you will not be very happy by the time we get to June. You'll be pretty hurt. Not like hurt to the point where your relationship ends, but it'll feel pretty crappy. You'll just not want to be willing to put a lot of work and effort into your relationship. You're not going to be feeling very sexy, in control, very loved, very happy at all. And you might go off on your partner in a very serious way. Very serious way. You just give them a piece of your mind to the max. So you have an opportunity here to, if you value your relationship and you want to stay in it and you love your partner, change your thought patterns, change the things that you say when you're talking to your friends. Change the way that you frame it so that everything is more positive. It's not lies, but you want to just think about what it is that you do want and not what you don't want, because you don't want to draw more of that in. Does that make sense? I hope so. So I hope that was helpful. If you'd like a private reading, all of my contact information is in the description box below. But otherwise, see you next time. Bye. Mwah!